have Jamey Gannon coming into the show. I have seen her so much on the timeline and wondered, who is this woman that is apparently producing some of the best creative on the internet without prompting. Okay, that's what I keep seeing is like, forget the prompt. Okay, let me do it this other way, uploading images, etc. We've got to learn more from her. She is the founder of Brand Sprints. You can work with her. You can talk with her. I think she's also head of brand at Portal, D2C sleep supplement brand. I think we're going to hear more from her. Jamey Gannon of Brand Sprints. Get inside of this show, Jamey. We need you in here. Get inside this show. There she is. All right. Okay. Jamey, welcome to the show. We appreciate you making the time and joining us.
Yeah. I mean, this show is epic. You guys are such great performers. This is a awesome setup.
Let's go.
You know, we do what we can. And we heard, Jamey, that shows that wear suits get acquired. And so, you know, we wanted to put on the suits and
have to wear them.
Yeah.
Make it look nice for you joining us today. Now, Jamey, you have got to give, I mean, of course, I want to know background on you, but also I've got to know, you are the only person I have ever heard say like, you know, forget about the prompt so much. Yeah. There's like another way to attack this. I need some background on you and what you're doing and like where this thesis, this principle, foundational principle came from. You're the totally unique only person I have ever heard speaking this way.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. Well, quick intro on me. I'm a brand designer and creative director for early stage companies. I'm sort of new to the e-com world, actually. I kind of got into the e-com space like 3 years ago. My boyfriend and I started Portal, which is that sleep supplement company that you mentioned.
Incredible.
Yeah, I joined as head of brand, doing all the packaging design, ad design, website design, like everything that is not ops pretty much. And it was just a real crash course into like being a brand owner, but then also this whole other world of design that I had never touched before, which is like very conversion focused, very consumer, not just like B2B tech. So yeah, in the last couple of years, I've really dove into that. And it was actually kind of how I got into AI, because being kind of like a nights and weekends founder of a bootstrapped brand, I didn't want to spend any money on photo shoots,
right?
You know, like $5,000 to $10,000 just for like regular product photography. So I started playing in Midjourney like years ago, which is kind of crazy to think about now since we have like Nano Banana and GPT image too. But I was attempting to do like product shots and like stock photos. We have like a really like sexy kind of like nighttime brand. So like cool pictures of guys running and stuff. And then through that like entry point, like slowly over time started bringing it into my other client work with like startups. And then now it's almost like most of my day now is doing AI images, either for like bigger brands, like helping like tech companies like learn how to use AI, e-com companies, obviously product photography, or even startups still, like icons, 3D icons, logos sometimes, websites. There's like nothing that it doesn't touch at this point. So.
And I guess it was through that process that you discovered like a new way. I myself was in Midjourney many years ago, and I got out of there pretty quick because I didn't know how to work Discord, you know, all the things. But it seems like you have like discovered a new way to interact with AI that is better than me like typing up a couple of my best sentences. You know, I mean, describe this.
Yeah. I think a lot of people, especially in e-com, I think it's a lot of guys that come from like ops or marketing backgrounds. They are not creative directors. So they don't like live and breathe like describing lighting and colors and motion and all of these things. So people's instinct to prompt is usually just, it's not going to be the most successful. And the way that I kind of describe it when I'm teaching this to like my students and other people is an image is worth 1,000 words. And this sounds like super obvious, but one exercise I have people do is like take any image, you know, even try and like describe me right now. Like, okay, like white woman, brown hair, black t-shirt, but that's as far as you're going to get. The second you start describing like how big are my eyes? Like what is the cantle tilt of my eyes? Like what is the exact color of my hair? Is it like balayage? What does the blush look like on my face? Is my face matte? All of these different things that are kind of hidden in images, if you will, which sometimes LLMs can pull out, but a lot of the times they just kind of lose their essence when you try and get all of this data out of an image. But the great thing is with these AI tools, they're great at reading these images as is. So you can just upload it. It can take all of this latent style data, read it, and then actually apply it to what you're doing. And I just encourage anyone to test this. Instead of trying to like reverse engineer an image and get a prompt or prompt it yourself, just upload the image to, let's say like GPT-2, if you're doing product photography. Like upload your product, upload an image that you want to replicate the style of, and just like write that out. Like use the second uploaded image as the style reference, use the first product, like whatever that is. And a lot of the times you will get a better.
Fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Jamey, could you talk to us a little bit about working with one of my favorite brands in the space of all time, Zest? I think they're absolutely incredible. The branding work that you did with them is second to none. They're an absolute rocket ship right now. Anyone who doesn't know, if I'm describing this right, it is basically a time release capsule for caffeine. So you take it right before you go to bed, and then you wake up and it triggers at X hour in the morning, and then you just kind of pop up and you're good to go. Talk about that experience, because the branding you did with them is out of this world. It's almost space-like. It's amazing.
This is not the soap company. This is not Zest.
This is not the soap.
This is not Zest soap.
No, don't. You don't eat the soap. Don't eat the soap.
I didn't know about this.
So I worked with Jason. I think Jason Jin is his name. The founder of Zest, in like January of 2025. And he had just like such the perfect personality to come into DTC, because he was just like ready to go, like targeting tech founders, like wanted to do custom packaging, like just had the whole business plan set out. So I think I have to say, like, the success of like branding a lot of the time comes down to like the founder actually like knowing what they want and knowing what's good. I can't tell you how many times I've done branding and the entire time I'm trying to fight the instincts or lack of instincts of the founder.
Yes.
So I have to give Jason credit there. So yeah, he just had an amazing vision, and we just spent a ton of time iterating. If you look at our file that we have, I even still go into it sometimes this day to pull things, but it's like 8 different pages of tons of designs, trying out different like motifs for the brand, like different types of circles and diagonal lines and all these different things that we thought meant kind of like speed and caffeine and zest, like zest for life. But we ended up deciding on this kind of like watch motif. So if like you really look closely at the packaging, it kind of mimics like a clock and like little like second hands or minute hands. So that was kind of the inspiration. And that was actually if you go on like my website, the case study, again, this was a while ago, but those mock-ups were actually made in Midjourney and Midjourney V6 and then photoshopped on by hand. So this is like the craft days of AI, where like you were really you really had to like still make it yourself. But Midjourney was so good at making that kind of like reflective style, the orange. Again, this is another example of like where my kind of like starting conditions of my inputs of like the mood boards, the style references, that did a lot more work for me than trying to like prompt the color of the background and stuff like that made it look so good.
I mean, it looks incredible. It just looks, you crushed it. If people were wondering, they should 100% check it out. It's some of the best work I've ever seen. It's absolutely incredible.
Yeah, it's a good product too.
Jamey, tell me this, because I like the way that you started this. I actually feel like design's so tough, because you're working with people who a lot of times they have a really informed opinion about what they want, but they don't know how to get there. And sometimes they know what they don't like. It's just like, it can end up being 1,000 iterations on, what's eventually just make the logo bigger. Give me some insight, like on like how does somebody who doesn't know what they're doing, how can they become like you? Because I, working with you, obviously that's best. But,
Mhm.
maybe if I'm not there and I'm trying to launch a new thing or redesign my website or something, and I just like want your mind,
Mhm.
how can I get that? I feel
Yeah.
like there's got to be a course of some sort. There's got to be like a newsletter somewhere where you have like documented your brain, where we can get inside of the Jamey Gannon process.
Yeah, so I have a course called the AI Creative Director. It's on pause right now, but probably want another
Is it on
cohort.
pause?
Yeah. I'm rewriting it because so much has changed.
Oh wow.
With AI.
Wow.
Yeah, so much has changed. So I'm taking a beat to rewrite it. So that's one way. Probably in May or June, I'm going to be doing that again. Just another plug too. I'm doing a workshop called
Yes.
AI product photography for e-commerce teams. That's on Maven. You can also use, I told you guys a code, right? You can use code
Yep.
YEEHAW.
Let's
YEEHAW
go.
for 10% off. So that's happening this Saturday. That's going to be a 3-hour workshop.
That's this Saturday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What time? Tell us what time. And 2 p.m. 2 p.m.
2 p.m.
Eastern.
Yes. Yeah.
2 p.m. Eastern. And we got to get a link out or something.
Yeah. And use code YEEHAW.
Use code YEEHAW. I like that code.
Let's go.
I like that code.
Go to maven.com and go to 1 Day Workshops. It should pop up on that screen, but I'll post a link on my X later. But so that's kind of my show. But kind of a more serious answer, if you want to get the brain that I have, or maybe the brain of a creative director, I think it's a daily practice. So if you're someone that's wanting to revamp your brand or wanting to start a brand, but you just like don't know what aesthetic you want to go for, it's going to take you time. So one, like, remember when you're creating a brand or anything, even your personal brand, it's going to feel like your baby and it's never going to feel perfect. So you should go into it knowing that, like, hey, it's just packaging, it's just a website. You can change it eventually. It doesn't have to last forever. So be aware that like this is a moment in time and you can trust your instincts that you have. And then number two, it's a daily practice. So you won't just like wake up one day and like have amazing ideas or have amazing taste or have amazing confidence in your taste. You have to spend time in like many areas of your life, I believe, to do that. So like easy way is just like going on Cosmos, going on Pinterest, even going on X, bookmarking stuff, saving stuff, creating mood boards. They can be as simple as fashion or branding. They don't have to be like, super specific or tied to certain areas or topics. And just as you continue to do that, you will start to kind of like train your eye and also learn yourself. And another good way too is like just watch movies, read books. It's kind of cliche, but like the more good content that you consume and the less like slop you consume, the better your ideas are going to be and the more well-rounded that you're going to be. I always use this example. There was one time I like randomly got a gig to help with like a fashion type project. And I had been watching a ton of fashion YouTube videos just like in my free time. And I think a lot of people will tell you like, oh, like don't scroll, like don't watch videos. You should just work, like don't like pollute your mind. But because I was doing entertainment time, like watching fashion videos, I like just happened to have all of the references and all this information about these brands that I could pull as inspiration for this opportunity that I got. Now that's like a one-to-one, but this can happen in other ways as well. Like I get tons of inspiration from my YC type startups when I'm doing ecom stuff and vice versa. Thinking about like conversion too, like when I'm doing like thinking about conversion on ecom websites, applying that to my website designs that I do for my startup clients, like has definitely helped me and like made my websites not only work better, but like have better taste in the structure and whatnot. So
I like that.
Could you talk to us a little bit about where you see the trends of consumer branding? Because we initially had basically that classic minimalistic, boring-ish from the early 2000s-ish. Now I feel like we've gone into quote unquote like color maxing and we're going crazy right now.
Yeah.
Where do you see this through line? Where are we exiting towards now that we've gone into those two kind of spheres?
Yeah. I mean, I think we're all kind of sheep, whether you're like a founder or a designer in the space, like it's impossible not to like fall victim to trends, especially in the consumer space. You guys might even know better than I, like what brands are like really killing it right now. But like, you know, I'm sure we're gonna see like 18 different David spinoffs, and like the Seraph's gonna come back and like some vertical because of that. You know, Rode has like the really bulky packaging and uses food as like flavor, so we're gonna see all the beauty brands doing that. So it's kind of whatever the darling is, that's what's going in that specific niche is going to influence that. I think you can also even see that with like form factor, like the gummy boom. I'm about to do gummies too, a little bit late. You know,
what gummies are you doing? Wait, what's going on here? You just kind of threw that in
That
there.
was like a little throw in there.
We're attempting to do gummies at Portal, but trying to get like the clinically validated dosage of like magnesium and glycine into gummies that like taste good and don't like explode. It's like really difficult. So we're trying to balance like formulation with like actually being able to deliver it, because
just a huge gummy, just a massive one. You just kind of eat it like a sandwich.
Yeah. But yeah, that's like a big problem with the supplement industry is like so many gummies are just like, you know, even creatine, like they just have nothing in it, or like if they do, it's not actually the dose that's going to like do be the most effective. So that's been like something we've kind of been working on like here and there for the last like year. So hopefully soon. Yeah, I think more brands are going to have more personality, hopefully too. Like the ones that don't kind of fall into those trends. I think because, you know, I'm a little biased, but the AI stuff, like being able to do any photography, any concept, any video of your wildest dreams is going to allow you to go down brand directions you may have not been able to before. You don't have to be as conservative, because it's harder to like stick with a concept if, you know, doing that concept requires like a $200,000 commercial shoot. But theoretically, like every day we get closer to like that not being true, especially in like tiny units of that, like in ads or just website sections.
Yeah.
Totally. You know, a few people's packaging that I love. Number one are our boys over at Seek.
Yeah.
Caleb Sloop. What they're doing at Seek, I saw you make something for them the other day.
Yeah.
Big fan.
You boys.
Ketone IQ. You know, another one that I have been looking at, I'd love to get your thoughts on this Wild Roman. You know, our boy, you know, it looks like concrete. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like I look at the packaging, it feels masculine. There are basically two. There's like I've always felt, you know, forgive me, but I've always felt that like skincare for men, it's like, come on, am I gonna do that? I'm like, probably not gonna do that. You know, it just doesn't feel like that manly for me. But there's two that I like that I think that I would use and I would feel great about. Number one, Wild Roman, our boy Sahil. It looks like it's transported from Italy. It was like heavy Roman concrete roads or whatever. And then number two is a Pretty Boy. Our boys over at Pretty Boy, they just leaned into it all the way and made beautiful packaging. It's back here. The whole thing about it is like well done. But anyway, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on this kind of take? I thought particularly with Wild Roman, they just went like a very like masculine route that to me it feels great. I really like how they've done this.
Yeah, I mean, I love minimalism, so I'm definitely going to be all for this. I think something that like real ecom bros will probably tell you is like, if this goes on the shelves at Walmart, will this stand out? That's something that has to be thought about. Like one thing that like broke my heart, like don't want to like shit on this brand, but like Truff, if you saw, recently did like a rebrand that went from this like really, it's a very similar kind of packaging where it's just like black text, like they're really cool custom component on top, and then now it has like a picture and the logo smaller and there's like more elements and I think a cursive font. But like unfortunately, like there's some like autistic guy that like has packaging on the shelves, and this is probably going to get them a lot more sales.
Probably.
Like
Chris and I covered that on the show, and that was our take on it. Was this would probably get them more sales, even though it's a little bit sad that like they lost the OG.
Yeah, one interesting one that I did. I was doing a coffee brand a couple months ago, And I was doing a deep dive on like La Colombe's can redesign. That one's a really interesting one to look at, like the before and after of like, I think they did a good job of keeping their essence, but seeing how I think like they made the flavor so much bigger than like the word coffee, or they made the logo so much bigger, like seeing what choices they ended up making, which probably has a lot of data behind it, was really interesting to see. But also as a brand designer, I don't know if I could ever bring myself to make like ugly packaging. I think I would just like take the L and have a beautiful brand.
Just take the L.
Yeah.
You know, there's a few things that as we talk to you, Jamey, you remind me of. Number one, you remind me of Oren John a little bit.
So much.
You know, Oren often describes, he's always, he's the internet's creative director. He's always talking about art direction and things like this. And I realize when he's talking, there's like a file in his brain that I don't have. And you come across the same way. It's like the bookmarks and the beautiful things that I have collected and all of that. That feels very similar. Is that fair, Colin?
Super fair. And then Oren has that bookmarks tab that is super elusive, that we basically told Oren, we were like, dude, you could make that a product and probably charge people a boatload of money for it. He's like, because he was on the show and he was like, let me look through my bookmarks tab. I'm like, whoa. You got an Oren bookmarks tab? What's going on in there? What categories are in there? Let's see this.
Number one, you come across that exact same way. There's like files in your brain that I think a lot of us, the more I talk to you, I realize that we don't have that. Number two, you're great on camera. I think that we need to get you on video more. I think.
Yes.
Is that fair?
I actually have like new setup here. I have like light. I'm getting a new tripod, but this is like my old phone up there. I have like the DJI Mini. I have another new light.
Let's go, Jamey.
I'm looking for a new apartment to get like an office, so I'm not like in my living room. But yes, everyone's telling me that. Thank you. Yeah, I'm theater kid turned TikToker. So
we'll take that. We'll take that. And number three, I think we are firm believers on this show that this is the age of the one-man brand, of the Superman marketer. And the reason that I love so much what you are doing is I feel that your knowledge and your development, you're working with the tools. What you are doing is you are equipping the rest of us to follow behind you and do more, in this economy, do more in our productivity, sell more, convert more, make beautiful things that people love and cherish and will come back and buy again. And that's why I love the course that I know it's gone for now. But that's why I'm hyped about what you're doing on Saturday and what you're doing with your content in total, because I feel like you are equipping this new era in e-commerce and beyond.
Yeah, I'm trying to just like be like the people's voice for AI.
Let's go.
The people's champ. The people's champ for AI.
Like, just get information out there as soon as possible.
Nice.
Because like things just change so fast. Like even like this Saturday with the course or the workshop, I had the whole thing like almost written, and then GPT Image 2 launched, and it's like, okay, well,
wild.
Now the last hour of the course is gonna have to be like GPT Image 2 and like how do we make ads and stuff. So I'm trying to like work as fast as possible to like give everyone the info, because I think there's a lot of like scammers out there and people that just want you to think like, oh, it's in one click, or like just use my Rapper tool. I was thinking like there's like epic rap battles going on of everyone's Rapper tools that just like charge you like 10 extra tokens. So I'm trying to be like the voice against that, like one, to like save us all money, and then two, to just like get everyone the best results. Because I feel very passionately about that, because I have completely transformed my life and my career being able to use AI. And I just want everyone to have that. So.
Love it.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Jamey,
anyone that wants to see an absolutely insane portfolio and website, please go on to Jamey's website, Brand Sprints. It's absolutely wild. It's beautiful. I mean, I could live on this website.
What's the URL? What's the URL, Jamey?
Brand-sprints.com.
Brand-sprints.
Definitely not the first one. No shade to them. The Brand Sprints, not the dash one.
not the
You're
dash.
definitely
Yeah,
not
you
that
gotta
one.
you gotta use the dash. You gotta use the
Use
dash.
the dash because the first one is an absolute nightmare.
Yeah. Hopefully
Gorgeous.
doing new domains soon. Might be shifting everything back to Jamey Gannon, and then
Vibes.
something
That's a
start
vibe.
coming.
I love that. I totally agree with that.
Okay, Jamey, you got to tell everybody where to find you, where to follow you, and give us clear instructions on Maven, because we want to be there for AI, ecom, product, branding, shoots, etc. Give us the full list on where to find you and follow you, learn more, and work with you and learn from you.
Yeah, I'm everywhere at Jamey Gannon, and on X. That's where I spend most of my time. To join the workshop, you can just go to maven.com, and if you click workshops, I should be on that front page. And if not, you can do brand-sprints.com/links, and that will have the workshop. It'll have the course wait list. It'll have tons of discounts too. I have discounts to like most AI platforms, templates, resources, Substack, all that stuff. But yeah,
All the
thanks for
things.
having me, guys.
Awesome, Jamey. We look forward to following and learning more. We appreciate what you're doing on behalf of the rest of us, and we appreciate you coming on the show. We look forward to having you back.
Thanks, guys.